I'm joined today by Bill Clark, the president and CEO of St. Francis Ministries. And obviously, you guys are so important and vital to the community. And, I want to just start off by just talking about what you guys do and why you're here. Can you kind of go into details on that?
Yeah, thank you for having me here this morning, Kelsey. What a privilege to be here. St. Francis, from a mission perspective, is we provide healing and hope to children and families. We serve those who are struggling. Our goal is to help them work through a difficult time, to let them know that tomorrow's a brighter day, that there is opportunity, and if we can help people navigate that, working with our community team members, that's what we're designed to do.
Yes, so important. And so, your role as CEO and president, that is a huge role, obviously, for an important organization. Can you talk about just where you started and where that passion stemmed from to, make a difference in our community?
Yeah, thank you for that. I'm going to go way back in time, and now that I'm the old guy. I look at the kids and families that we serve. I was one of them. So Clark is my third last name. I moved 23 times before I left high school. And so when you look at youth who are going through a difficult time where they become a statistic, in jail, homeless, or even dead, I could have been in one of those. And so there was an organization, much like St. Francis, that came into our lives that really helped us when we were young navigate some tough times. I remember standing in line to get food stamps from my siblings. They would bring food to our house, and they had a profound impact. They make sure we got to school. From there, that led me to serving in our Army for 30 years.
Wow.
And once I finished serving our country, I had the privilege of coming work for St. Francis, kind of my way of giving back.
That's so cool, so inspiring, and just a full circle moment. What has that been like to you to, really show that you've been in these people's steps, you've been in these kids' steps? What has that been like, moving forward and being able to shed light on, such a tough situation?
I think it really helps you connect with youth and families. When you can say, I've walked those shoes, you can help explain that tomorrow is a brighter day. And we have some incredibly talented and gifted people here at St. Francis that work with kids and families to help them move forward. But I think what I bring is the lived experience, which is a little bit different, and maybe potentially somewhat of an example of, okay, there is hope. I can see that there is progression. There's a way to move forward from this.
There is. And so, speaking of moving forward, it's been so cool to see and very eye-opening to know all of the things that you guys offer to the community. So moving forward, what are you most hopeful for, as 2025 comes into fruition?
When I look at what we do at St. Francis, it's really about partnership. We talk about community-based care. It's really about all of us here in the Amarillo area working to help take care of the kids and families in our community. At St. Francis, we really have three different core competencies that we focus on. One is prevention. How do we go into a home and help a family before the kids have to leave? The more we do that, the better everybody is. If a child has to come out, we do what they call out-of-home services. We work with the child, and our goal is to reintegrate that child back with their family. We work with foster parents as they help to take care of those kids when they're working through that. And then we do some residential work. Kids who have a higher level of acuity, some harder challenges, they need some special care. We have facilities that help them do that. So it's really those three aspects we focused on, but our goal is to help kids and families move forward to be whole.
Yes, and so kind of going back to the community partnerships, obviously I've kind of learned it takes a village. There are so many hands into this project and into this organization. Can you just highlight the importance of that and just how much it means for other people to get involved in a ministry like this?
Yeah, I think we should just hire you as our spokesperson. You did a great job doing that.
Well, thanks.
Yeah. You talked about the community. It does take a community, a village to help children and families. We need foster parents. There's never enough foster parents to help kids go forward. There's multiple different agencies that we work with. We all have a piece of this. I'll give you some examples. The education community, law enforcement, judicial, the state partners, hospitals, behavioral health. We can just keep going. And everybody has a piece of how we care for people. And one of our our goals is how do we take all these complex systems, because every entity has a different system, and make those systems come together so we can take care of people. That's what we're after.
Love that so much. Well, if there was one thing that you could say to a kid who, is struggling or who is in, this situation, what would you tell them?
I'd tell them two things. Number one, probably most importantly, never give up. No matter how many times things seem like they're difficult and you're at rock bottom, keep getting up. Never give up. We only fail in life when we don't get back up. The other thing I would tell a child is attitude is everything. How we look at the world, how we look at circumstances will shape where we go. So attitude is everything. Pick a good one.
I love that. Yes. And, I just want to commend you because you are such an inspiration and obviously just a true example of never giving up. And I want to just end on this. Is there anything else you want to tell us about St. Francis Ministries or what you guys hope to accomplish?
When I look at St. Francis, I go back to our mission statement. We are totally and fully involved in helping kids and families. There's not a greater opportunity or a greater calling than helping one another. We are a faith-based organization. We're very proud of that. We're grateful that we can share the gospel with those that we work, both inside and outside the organization. We are privileged to be part of communities. We know that we're just a piece of it, so we're honored to be here in the Amarillo area helping kids and families.
Love that. Well, thank you so much, Bill, for taking the time to do this and for sharing your ministry, sharing your story, and I cannot wait to see what you guys hope to accomplish for our community.
What a privilege to be with you today. Thank you for having me.